Bubbles have formed all around the world in different sectors of different economies and countries, but the main theme is low interest rates fueling this rise. Let's get into what Greenspan said, that bubbles can't be stopped without a crunch. He is worried about a collapse. He's worried about a downturn of some sort, and of course he doesn't say it's going to be that bad. However, what he said in this interview was that if interest rates rise, we're going to have a major setback in the economy. And that is pretty obvious. The market has been running off of low interest rates now for years and years on end, and it's barely getting anywhere. The real economy, of course, the stock market has been pushed higher, but that's simply just another bubble. I'll get into that in a moment. One of the questions that they asked him was that, isn't this economy just one bubble after another? And his words, quote, "Well, I agree with that." And that's exactly what's been happening. You have basically cheap money being sent out to these banking institutions and other institutions around the world, and it fuels this whole inflationary scenario where they are allowed to continue. So they print money, they buy up this, the Federal Reserve is buying up all the debt, and it continues on in this scheme that they have is very unusual. It's not helping the economy at all. But what happens is a bubble forms somewhere. So it may be real estate now, and then it may be the stock market later, and so on and so forth. That's what's been happening. Now, Yellen used a quote that was similar to Greenspan, but basically here's the article, Yellen pricking bubbles with sharp Greenspan-like language. So Greenspan used the irrational exuberance quote, and she used something similar, and I'll just get to that. At the bottom it says that they were substantially stretched. What does that mean? He's talking about the biotech stocks, talking about the tech stocks, and basically saying that they are overvalued right now and they're ready to pop. So can anyone say Facebook stock? That's what I'm looking at right now, how these are way overvalued, and it is pretty simple to realize that it's basically just hot money flowing in. This happened in the Asia crisis, hot money just flowing in. People were thinking, no, it's going to be so good in the future, put your money in now. Well, the fact remains is that it's hot money flowing in, fueling that rise. Yes, maybe 10, 20, 30 years from now, it's going to be worth a lot more. However, if you're trying to ride that wave, it's going to be a very dangerous flight. Let's look at this right here, how they play their games. So essentially what I want to get to is this. EPA chief, this is not about pollution control, it's an investment strategy. And they're talking about carbon regulation plan. It's an investment opportunity. It's not about pollution control. This is absolutely absurd when they're trying to market it to us as a pollution control, but really this is just making money, and I'll get into that in 1 second. But I'm trying to tell you that they are playing games with us, and nothing is ever for our own good. This is all about making money. It's about the bottom line. This is the CME group, and I'm talking about weather derivatives. This is absolutely ridiculous to me. This shouldn't even be allowed, but here we are where they have derivatives based on the weather. So they have the ability to make bets based on, is it going to rain? Is it going to snow? Are we going to have too much rain? Is there going to be a drought? And they're able to actually profit from this. I'll just scroll down very briefly, and you can see these are all the different derivatives that they have, and this is pretty ridiculous because it's the weather. And then when you find out that they have the absolute they have this design where they can actually manipulate the weather. They have confirmed, they have been doing this. They created rain in the desert. They have created droughts before. They have seeded clouds in China before the Beijing Olympics. They have done all sorts of things like this. And then you have these weather derivatives. Are they modifying this to so-called profits from this? I don't know, but what I am worried about is that they are profiting from nature in general. This shouldn't have anything to do with this. It's pretty absurd to even read this. Alan Greenspan is a quote from my book, but I'm quoting him saying that he would be surprised if there was a QE3 because it would continue the erosion of the dollar. And then, of course, I said that round 3 of money printing is inevitable, as it's always been done throughout history. And then I go on to the TARP bailouts and so on. But basically what he said was that they can't do a QE3, and this is, of course, written a few years ago. But what I was saying was that they can't have a QE3 because it's going to continue the erosion of the dollar. And of course, that is exactly what happened. And now they're saying that they're tapering back. But of course, like I just quoted Greenspan, he said if they raise interest rates, as I make this point in my book, If they raise interest rates, we're going to have a collapse. Watch the interest rates. It is very important. I'm trying to make this video as short as possible, guys. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to be an insider. It is absolutely essential to become an insider. I want to thank every single person who is an insider, who's been emailing me on there. Thank you so much. We've been corresponding back and forth. I've been trying to assist people in any way that I can, and of course, don't forget to share these videos. It is essential. If you want to be an insider, it's free. Just go to themoneygps.com at the bottom. You fill in your email address and you get short, concise emails from me.